know Putin. He said nice things about me. If we got along well, that would be good. If Russia and the United States got along well and went after ISIS, that would be good. From everything I see, has no respect for this person.
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president of the United States.
No puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
It's pretty clear you won't admit that the Russians have engaged in cyber attacks.
All right, that was part of the heated exchange last night. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump hurling insults at how to deal with Russian President Vladimir Putin. This has been a hot topic between them for months. KT McFarland, Fox News national security analyst, a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense in the Reagan administration, and member of the Trump National Security Advisory Committee. KT, welcome. Good to have you with us today. So how do you think he did on that?
Well, I think, you know, the one guy who did the really best in all of that, Vladimir Putin. He's watching that debate and he's thinking, wow, Russia's an integral part of the American electoral process, and I'm doing really well as a result. I've got them both rattled. As far as who did better, Clinton versus Trump, you know, Clinton says that Putin is trying to rig the election so Trump wins, and Trump is going to be like a Russian agent or a Russian puppet. I think that's absurd. And on the other hand, when Trump says, well, Hillary, you know, Putin knows how to deal with you, you've sold him 20% of the American uranium in exchange for a donation to the Clinton Foundation. Martha, I don't think Putin cares who wins. I think he's got a plan to deal with either one of them. And his objective in all of this, if it is true that the Russians are the ones doing the hacking, is to show he can do it, to show how powerful Russia is. It can interfere in the American elections. It's payback from when Putin fails, the Americans interfered with his elections. And I think it's a shot across the bow saying, don't you dare do anything to interfere with my domestic processes again. I'll do even worse to you next time.
Yeah. I mean, she clearly suggested that Putin wants Donald Trump and that's why he's putting his hand on the side of the scale with these WikiLeaks emails that are coming out. Do you think that's true?
Well, look, I've talked to some people who've done security for the Republican National Convention in Cleveland and said, is this the Russians, and why aren't the Russians hacking Republicans? And she said, well, we've found that there were Russian gangs or elements related to the Russian government that were trying to hack at the RNC convention, and they just didn't get through. We had better defenses. I assume that the Russians are hacking everybody. They've hacked the White House in the past. They're hacking the DNC. And as far as the WikiLeaks, not the Russian connection, but the Julian Assange WikiLeaks connection, I think he's trying to bring down and show corruption wherever it exists. And they've just gotten their hands on Democrat stuff. But I have no doubt that if they find their way into Republican emails, that those will be released at some point to embarrass and to influence as well.